And we're live. Alrighty. So today we're going to go over some assignments, go through the etude, and I will give you a cute little article. So, yeah, it's cute little. Okay. So, cool. You brought your observations. Okay. Tell me about it.
So when watching myself, I'm just going to read it and then we'll discuss it. So when watching myself play, I noticed that the end of the flute has the tendency to go down and kind of back.
Okay.
I think that's the way it goes. With that, my tone goes out the window. I also noticed that my aperture becomes big and more open, I think is what it's doing. So which makes my air go everywhere besides into the flute. And then that makes my breathing go out funky monkey. This makes it become quite a bit airy sounding. This week I have tried, underlined, to focus on relaxing my body, but especially my shoulders. It has helped when I think about it, kind of, but it's just not there yet.
Okay. Well, good observations. I'm glad you did the assignment.
I love how you were looking at. What was that?
Yeah, I was like, what? So now you do that, and I would rather have you try to even yourself out, but if you go a little farther back, at least you're still attached. Because the problem when we first started you were going so far forward, you weren't attached to it anymore.
Yeah,
So I would rather you go a little farther back and we can adjust from there, than go back to what we were. So, play oats, peas, and beans. And just go, yeah, do that and then pause and we'll talk about it. Wow, there was a lot of improvement. Your tone has
it was
improved.
fuller.
I could actually identify what the notes were. I'm very impressed with that.
It actually got better as we went on compared to usually it starts out decent
And your
then it gets
breathing
worse.
your breathing has really improved. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to do it one more time. Articulations are still
Yeah.
a little muddy. Just why I walked over here to double check, especially between repeated notes. Give them a little more space, and I want you to play a little bit louder
Okay.
and try to make the tone. You have the tone, but now I want it clearer. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay.
Close.
Alrighty, so now I want you to still try to increase the volume. What's your favorite movie?
Currently or
Any movie.
am I like
Something you know really well.
Mary Poppins?
Mary Poppins.
Is
Great.
that a good choice?
Yeah,
I
that actually works.
Excited.
Yeah, well, because I know the movie. So I want your sound to fill up one of the chalk drawings from the sidewalk.
Oh, okay.
You know how you jump in and it's this whole world in and of itself? I want that kind of sound from you, because right now I'm not getting volume.
Okay.
And just because we're playing the flute doesn't mean that we have to play softly.
No.
So just take a moment to really think about filling that space before you start. Okay, your aperture is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of our range. It should be quite a bit smaller, and you also need to firm up your lips.
Okay.
So try that. Make your aperture smaller. don't think you because you're very visual. I want to make sure that I remove this stuff out of the way so I can actually get to you. Okay, play it one more time.
I said that my aperture opens up. I've noticed it. I just don't know.
Yeah, no, I just want you to see what so I can point. Lift your chin a little. Okay, now look. And yeah, back up. There you go. Whoop. There you go. Okay, stop. So I took
That sounded
pictures.
better, but I don't know why.
Well, I mean, it's a little better, but I took pictures instead of video because I want you to see when we zoom in. Do you see how wide that is?
So more like a straw.
Yeah, exactly. More like a cocktail straw, not a McDonald's straw. Cocktail
Okay.
straw. Alrighty, stop. 'Cause
No.
now we've gone backwards. Try adjusting where your lip plate is. Go a little lower. There you go.
See now, because the problem is my lip gets over the hole.
Okay.
Can you roll the lip in?
Okay. Go back to what you know works really quick, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Play C5 for me. Okay. I'm just trying to think. You need to take a bigger breath and support it more. So right now you're only filling the tank part way. Just take a bigger breath.
Oh wait.
Well, there goes that one. Watch that your fingers aren't pushing keys down you don't want.
What's that one? I don't put this down.
You put pinky and
Pinky.
index. You should sound. Because you were pressing other keys. Okay. Let's do something really quick. And I meant to do this at the beginning. But you were so excited to get to oats and peas. So we're going to do the C scale, like I asked you to do for this week, from C5 to C6. And since you just played the upper one, I know you could do it.
Oh, I know I can.
So we're going to do the C scale. Let's do quarter note. Or no, I want to do half notes because I want to give you the opportunity to focus on our tone. So 1, 2, ready. Come back down. Minus some flubs, you sounded really gorgeous on top, and it sounded better when you were coming back down
Yeah.
because you were building. As we talked about, I mean, you're going from barely any fingers to those fingers like the break on a clarinet. So that's a little trickier, but I did like the sound. There's still some residual airiness, but I think with more practice,
Yeah.
you'll be able to get that. But I want you to keep that sound in mind. I think that you played your oats and peas enough. I think we can go away from that. I need to hear this.
F.
F scale, yes please.
Oh, I'm not gonna look. Joe. Oh, I'll do it with the rhythm now.
Okay, do it again. Go slower. Stop for a second. Put your flute away from your mouth for 1 minute. I'm only saying that because I want you to. Sometimes when we have the horn, because I do it too, I get really excited and I don't necessarily listen to the whole thing. This is what I want you to do. I want you to play quarter notes.
So don't do the rhythm.
Yeah, don't the rhythm. It's great that you could. The problem is that gorgeous sound that we just had a second ago.
Went out the window.
Exactly. And right now, our focus is on our tone and our articulation. You also went a little too fast for your tongue. So I want you to do quarter notes. I want you to focus on your tone. So yeah, you can put it up to your mouth. 1, 2, ready. That was better. A lot better than the first time. Now I want you to play it with 8 notes, but we're going to go this fast. 1, 2, 3. Okay, does that make sense? So 1 and 2 and 3 and. So your homework over this next week, I want you to really focus on being able to keep that tone that you have with quarter notes and half notes.
And
putting in,
transfer it.
yeah, especially since your etude has 8 notes. Okay, so we're still gonna do that. Play the and the last thing is just rhythms to help. Sorry, my bad. This is just rhythms to help you practice with that. Okay, so that for next time. Okay, I want one more thing I want to try before we get to the etude. I would like to do a chromatic scale, but instead of starting down there, we're going to start on C5.
Okay.
So, take a minute, think about your fingerings between C5 and C6, chromatically. Remember side B flat, that we talked about the first week, if you remember.
Oh, yeah, well.
So, that cute little lever on the side.
This.
So we go, no. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F sharp, or E, maybe chromatically we begin. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp. We're resting right knuckle. A sharp, B, C. Yeah, you're just lightly, it won't take much. But it's the only way to work that chromatically. Because otherwise the long fingering takes too long. So, quarter notes. 1, 2, ready? We're going up.
You said
C-
start on C5.
And go up to C6.
Oh, I thought you meant go down. Okay, my bad, my
Nope,
bad.
I said we're going to go up this time.
Okay, that makes sense why you started at the bottom. I was all lost. Okay.
Yep. 1.
Crap.
2. Do you want a minute?
Yeah, what's... C?
It's all the same fingering.
Is it? Okay, so that
Nothing
C
is
sharp's
changing.
the same? It's the...
It's just, the C sharp is just by itself. So you're, remember the 3 points? So, it's easier if I show you.
So that's C. And that's just lifting it?
Yeah. So you still have no thumb, but you're lifting your index.
Okay. Thank you.
And fun fact, C sharp is one of the hardest notes to tune on the flute.
I would believe it because you're literally pressing that.
Okay.
It's opening that.
So, and it's the most open note we have. So 1, 2, ready. Okay, you're gonna have to, you're getting multiple notes at one time, which is a technique, but not one we need right now. So next week I want you to really focus on that chromatic scale. Because the idea is by the end of this, I want you to be able to go
C.
from low
Yeah.
to C6. So from C4 to C6.
C6.
And we're doing it in parts to kind of make it a little easier. Another thing to be wary of, you're doing an alternate F sharp fingering. It needs to be this ring finger. It's not wrong, it's just not the one I want you to use.
So it's this one.
Yeah.
Not
So,
that one.
I mean, they both make the same sound, but that's not the one I want you to use. I want you to use the ring
Is there
finger.
any reason why we use that one instead?
The other one tends to be off in tuning sometimes. That one's fine if you're trying to trill or something that you can't avoid it. But for the most part, it's the ring finger.
So like if it's an E to a F sharp or something like that, 'cause that would be...
I mean, it doesn't bother me, but that's because that's how I was trained. So,
Mine doesn't.
anyway, so I have that for next week.
Okay.
If you can do the whole thing next week, that would also be great. If you just want to work on the half. So, play. Actually, I need to stand up so I can see you. Scoot back a little. Okay, that was a little too far. I forgot how long your legs are. There you go. And then make sure your feet are offset. There you go. Take a minute. I want you to evaluate yourself constructively, not judgmentally.
Oh, the first part I was kind of well, I had brain fart on the one part because I had that part down. It just was a brain fart. That's what that was. I've never had that actually happen where I forgot the notes. In line 2. But it was probably too fast of a tempo when we got to the last 2 lines.
So what tempo have you been going?
I've mainly been practicing the first 4 lines. I haven't done the last 2 lines as much. That's about as far as I've gotten.
That doesn't answer my question.
I've been going that tempo.
You've been trying 120.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since this is
Let's try starting a little bit slower. I think you're being overly ambitious.
I'm just panicked. It's like a couple
Do you have
weeks.
any other?
I was actually really happy with my high C, the C. Where was that? When I got to the top of this, well, it wasn't the C scale, but the C with the B flat scale. I was actually happy with that.
Okay, we are going to go. I'm getting my metronome out.
Okay.
Thank you for updating my metronome. I really okay. Let's go. It's 4/4 or 3/4.
2/4.
2/4. None of the above.
Strike out both times.
Yeah. I don't have it sitting in front of me. I'm trying to do the metronome. Okay. Let's do this tempo. That's as loud as it goes.
I hear it.
Let me put it right there. I want you to have dynamics as well as I need you to focus your tone. Because right now the tone you had earlier is not the tone you have now.
What dynamics are you talking about? Just the mezzo forte?
Make it grow. That'll be your assignment also to write something. I forgot that was the case. So you need to write some in,
Okay.
but I want you to add dynamic contrast to make it fun. Make, to give it some color.
So how do I help with that, not doing that? Because it does it almost every time. It stays at a
You-
younger octave.
That's a lot, again, of controlling your aperture. Because like a trumpet, your lips are controlling what you're doing and watching and paying very close attention to the direction of your airstream. I think what's happening is you're so concentrated, you're actually thinking too hard, and your lips in process are staying at that tight aperture. So you're not getting the control and the fluidity you need. So I feel like you were more trying to play this at quarter note equals 120 instead of eighth note for the start. So this is what I want, and obviously the goal would be quarter equals 120.
Yeah.
But I want this is the speed you're at right now. And maybe even a little under that. The biggest thing is making sure that you're going up in notches, because right now I feel like you're very, very ambitious to want your.
No, it's not ambitious, it's panic. I just want to get it up to there.
Well, we have time. I would rather you play it slower and correct with all of the things I'm asking for,
Okay.
the tone and everything, than playing it up to speed and having it, all of that other stuff that we've been working really hard on, not be there.
Okay.
So we're gonna move on, but write in dynamics
Okay.
so that you can remember where you are and really focus on tone, articulation, and clear notes. If you are still at 84 next week, that's fine,
Mhm.
as long as I get the rest of it.
Are we going to do the ending? Because that's where
If you want to do the ending,
like from here, I just don't feel.
go ahead. Is there something specific you want to ask me about?
I'm not sure. Let me play it through, then I'll. It's
Okay.
mainly I don't know.
Just go.
No. Yeah, I just don't know how they. What's the easy? Is it just? I don't know. These just don't happen for me for some reason.
Well, make sure that when you're at home, you double check your fingering
Yeah.
first to start with. And you're trying to rush them.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually trying to make them closer to this than their
Okay.
note value, which will help. And then, obviously those moving notes are the most important. You just, I would break it up. So make sure you can play that C,
Mm-hmm.
then make sure you can play the lower notes, and then put them together like puzzle pieces.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Here's your little cute little song for next week is going to be Amazing Grace.
Okay.
So, I'm just double checking my tempo really quick before I stream it to you. that's a goal.
Mhm.
Again, start slower. Key with this is longer. This is more tuneful. You really need to make sure wherever you put the breath marks, it's not breaking where the words would be. So, for example, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Those are appropriate. However,
Oh, I know.
Amazing Grace. Yeah, okay. Our goal is to keep the phrases moving. And again, we have a scale. This to help with said scale at the bottom.
Oh, I see what it's doing.
There are some skips. So the stepwise motion, which I think is something you need to focus on because it's in your etude. Making sure that those work. So, why don't you try to play a little bit? Let's go. 3, 4. So 1, 2.
That's a little crazy. Oh, I can take it after there. That's why. Okay, my bad.
I
I
said
should have done
this
that
one.
first.
Make sure you fill your whole gullet as full as it'll get. Don't lean forward.
That's not good.
So it's another one of those, we're looking at tone, articulation, and breathing. This is all set to set you up for success with your etude. Speaking of which, check your availability for the week of finals week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are the juries. We both need to be available, so I need you to send me that as soon as possible.
Okay.
Okay, so here's our final thing. We got about a minute left. I want you to read this.
Okay.
This is yours to keep, highlight, make notes. There are jokes in here. The guy's a little bit sarcastic. But this is something you'll be able to use also in your future as a teacher, which is why I picked it. But this is also going to probably, I hope, will answer a lot of questions. Basically, and these aren't separate answers. You have to mix and match to make the ones that'll work. But I think the way he describes it is easy enough for you to get the answers that you're looking for, especially with tone. It's not very many pages. Anyway, so, any questions?
No.
Alrighty, good lesson.